Well, certainly there have been a lot of growing pains because 10 years ago there was to read an ebook was very difficult. You had to usually you had to read it on a PC. You couldn't read it on a little device. If you wanted to read it on a little device, you had to plug in all the cords and move around the file, and there was a lot of for the consumer it was very difficult. And so some of the changes that have happened in the last 10 years have been to make it so that you find a book and you click that you want to buy it and you have it immediately, right? It downloads in 5 seconds, and that was a huge innovation, right? For the first 8 years, it wasn't that easy. I think we got very involved in it early, and we're helping to lay that groundwork. But there have been different companies along the way that have led to the next step, the next improvement, right? When the Kindle launched and the consumer could buy an ebook with one click and have it download immediately to the device, that was a big improvement that led to a big increase in sales. And then when the iPhone came out and you could start reading it on the iPhone and read it on your phone, we saw another big increase in sales. So there have been these different steps along the way, and some of them were done by the publisher, some were done by Amazon, some were done by Apple, and others.
Is it difficult to convince your employees to say, let's do ebooks?
Not anymore. I think 5 years ago it was, but not now, because now they all are playing with the iPad and they know how beautiful the book can look and how much fun it can be to read and play with. And so publishing house employees are much more eager to participate in ebooks because they understand that it's a good thing, right? It's no longer seen as something scary or a threat.
Are there any publishing houses in the US, to your knowledge, that still don't do ebooks or don't go digital?
I don't know of one.
Everyone has gone digital somehow.
I don't know, but I've never heard of one that isn't. I'm sure there's a small publishing house that has just a few books that maybe hasn't, but I have never heard of one.
What are the biggest challenges for a publishing house when you want to do ebooks or go digital?
I think it depends very much how big your house is, and you have different challenges, because a lot of companies now exist that help you to publish ebooks easily, right? So if you're a small publisher and you want for a small Thai publisher that wanted to distribute their ebooks internationally, Amazon and Kobo and Apple have made it very easy to enter into a retail distribution agreement and to create the ebook file and to distribute. I think there are lots of sort of middlemen, different companies that are now in place to help the smaller publishers to get into business, because all of the retailers are all competing with each other to have the largest database of titles, right? And so they all have however many, 1 million English language books, and now they need the books in other languages, and so they're very eager to do deals with every last publisher to get as many books as possible into their catalog, because a Thai consumer is going to make a decision about where they're going to buy their ebooks based on who has the best device, who has the easiest download process, the easiest purchase process, and who has the biggest catalog. So those retailers are competing with each other to have the biggest catalog, and so they're going to make it really easy for the publishers to get into business with them.
Are there any signs that we can use to say that a consumer base is ready for ebooks?
Well, I think there are lots of surveys being done by different organizations. I was reading one this morning from an international sort of research firm that they're continually interviewing consumers around the world to see their level of interest in reading electronically, and there are many factors, to consider, but I think there are lots of different research. There's lots of different research being done talking about, what countries are now ready for this sort of evolution to ebooks.
Are ebooks usually sold cheaper than print books?
I think it varies market by market and publisher by publisher, and But quite often the price is a little bit less because you're not actually printing the book and shipping the book, and certain costs have been removed so that it's usually a cheaper price to the consumer.
Is violation of copyrights a problem for ebooks?
I think it's different in in different countries. There's different challenges around copyright. In the United States, we've found that it's very important to have a legitimate sales channel. So when the books are available through retailers and through libraries, and consumers can get them legally, they have less need or desire to steal them, right? It's if there's no ebook available, then you're going to get people figuring out a way to scan the book and make available a digital file and infringe copyright. But the most important thing you can do to avoid problems with copyright violations is to get into the ebook business and start distributing your books, because quite often the pirated books that we see available on torrent sites are usually scans of print books that are not otherwise available. So we rarely see on a pirate site an ebook that's been cracked. That's not the problem.
Oh, okay. So the problem is people actually.
So if there's no ebook available, so yesterday, for the first time,
Right.
the books about Harry Potter were made available for sale as ebooks. So for the past 5 years, those books have been widely pirated because they were never made available as ebooks. And now finally they're available in electronic form.
Okay.
And so we would expect to see many people buying because they just want to read the book. They don't,
Right.
and once it's being made available to them to purchase legally, that's how they'll purchase.
Huh. Can publishers do anything about those pirated books, I can say, electronically?
Well, the rules are different in every country. So we have rules in the United States about how to request that they're taken down. But the most important, like I just said, the most important thing to do is to make them available for sale legally, make the ebooks available, and then that will greatly reduce the problems with piracy.
Now, there were news just not long ago of big name bookshops in the US that actually went bankrupt. When you see news like that, how do you feel as a publisher?
Well, so I work for one of the larger publishers in the U.S., and we're very eager for there to be a very healthy and vibrant book-selling marketplace, and for ebooks in particular, for there to be many different competitors in a very healthy market. So although there was one famous bookseller that went out of business just recently, they were we call it a bricks and mortar retailer. They had a physical store. But at the same time, we've had many new ebook companies, ebook retailers come into business that were never in the business before, right? So we lost borders, but we've gained, retailers such as Samsung and BlackBerry and Google and Apple, and all these major technology companies are selling books, and they were never in the book business before. So if you look across the wider landscape, we have so many more retailers than we used to. It would be great to still have borders in business, but in the end, we have many more retail locations than in the past.